president made Elon Musk a kind of sheriff of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, to downsize just about everything. Our poll found Americans evenly split over how much influence, if any, Musk and DOGE should have over government operations and spending. And a federal judge has blocked their access to a Treasury bureau that, among other things, sends out government payments, including Social Security.
So what is this little-known bureau, and what is the Musk team looking for? Questions Major Garrett is about to answer. Major?
Good evening, Maurice and John. It's called the Bureau of Fiscal Service, and what they're looking for is what people in Washington have been looking for decades: waste, fraud, and abuse. This quest is not new. The methods, however, are.
Come here, Elon!
President Trump has given the world's richest man a temporary White House job and an ambitious order: audit the federal government, agency by agency, expose waste and fraud, and if you have to infiltrate sensitive government databases, do it.
The way to think about the Bureau of Fiscal Service is almost like the accounts payable department for the federal government.
Natasha Sarin worked for the Treasury Department for 2 years during the Biden administration. The Bureau of Fiscal Service distributes about 1.3 billion payments annually, things like Social Security checks, Medicaid reimbursements, and federal grants.
I think fraud in the government is actually like a really worthwhile cause to try to combat. The challenge is that has literally nothing to do with what the Bureau of Fiscal Service does or what this Treasury payments ecosystem is.
So if you're on the hunt for that, you don't go here.
You certainly don't. That doesn't sit in the Bureau of Fiscal Service. That sits at the agencies.
The Treasury Department has told Congress Musk's associates cannot change any payments, that they have had so-called read-only access to the database. But those assurances have not been independently verified. There's also a question about data security.
I file my taxes electronically. Does that put me inside this database, the Bureau?
It sure does. And your bank account information. That's how you get your refund electronically.
Not just who I am, where I live.
How much you made, how much your refund is.
All of that is in there.
Absolutely. The most private, sensitive data about American citizens all sits in the Bureau of Fiscal Service and the Treasury payments ecosystem.
Musk's top Treasury deputy, a tech executive, had access until a weekend court ruling. Accessing vast government databases by those not versed in federal data security could open systems to hacking.
This is the most sensitive information about them that the federal government has historically held in the hands of very few career civil servants who are trained and experienced in how to deal with this data and these ecosystems. There are real security questions at play here.
There might be some who watch this conversation and say, look, I trust President Trump and he trusts Elon Musk. And I didn't know anything about this agency. I don't know about these civil servants, but I trust Trump and I trust Elon Musk. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I don't want to be hyperbolic. And I understand and really respect the fact that democracies churn and that the people voted and made Donald Trump the president of the United States for a second time. That said, I think we should all be wary and be concerned about the fact that some of the actions that might be taken are actions that make us less safe and less secure.
Security is one issue, transparency another. So far, the White House has not revealed who is doing this work, what they found, what they plan to do with it.
And Major, this work outside of the Bureau of Fiscal Service, what other kinds of departments might be getting this same treatment?
So you heard a reference that the real matter resides within each agency. So far, 16 agencies have been touched in one manner or another by those investigators under the DOGE umbrella. You can see some of the names there: FEMA, Department of Energy, Department of Labor, CDC, EPA. You don't see there yet the Department of Education or the Department of Defense. President Trump has said they're next.
Major, a big key here is the White House is claiming fraud and waste and abuse. Have they actually proven that?
President Trump has said corruption, kickbacks. Interestingly, in one case, U.S. Agency for International Development, a federal judge said, please bring me the evidence of this so I can understand why you believe it's imperative to shut USAID down rapidly. The Department of Justice, Maurice, did not provide any evidence of kickbacks or corruption.
Major, a question I get a lot from those people who, most of them didn't vote for Donald Trump. It is, can he do this? Can Elon Musk do this?
The legal challenges are on two fronts. One, a 1974 Privacy Act law that says you cannot provide information about government payments to outsiders. This may be in violation of that. There's also a 2002 cybersecurity law that says any outsider brought into the federal databases has to pass their own cybersecurity protocols. We have no information whether anyone from DOGE has passed those protocols.